So I did something a little unorthodox when they called me for an interview. I said, yeah, I don't want to interview in the office. Can I actually interview with you in the field on a sales call? Because I knew that a lot of sales people trying to hire people will just sit down with them at a table and talk about how amazing it is being in that position without really showing them what is involved. And so this lady was awesome. She was like, absolutely. She's like, dress professional, meet me at this address. And so I met her. We walked into this company. I still remember it to this day. Within 15 minutes, she had this guy eating out of her hand. She closed the deal. Wasn't going to cost the business owner anything. And I was like, sign me up.
What's going on? Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. Today we got, someone who's accomplished a lot and is fun to be around. And we've been hanging out in our Power Player Mastermind, which has been amazing. Also, before I get to our guest, again, I want to remind you, I'm going to ask some extra bonus questions at the end of the podcast. And if you like the thought of that, or you're like, hey, I want to hear live dials from agents, or I want access to coaching and training courses that you've built, behind the scenes shows, et cetera, or early releases of this podcast, you can go to castudios.tv to learn more about that. Our guest today is someone who's been in the industry for 22 years, originally from California. Now she's in Plano, Texas. Had been in Medicare 6 years, has a really cool domain. You guys have to check out our website, INSGAL, Insurance Gal, INSGAL.com, and is a speaker, author, and agency owner, and now power player. Please welcome Katie Owen.
Woo woo! Thank you, Cody. So great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. I love your energy. Are you? I feel like when we've been together, you have always been exactly like this.
What you see is what you get. I love connecting to people, and I am generally a very positive person.
Yeah, it seems like Limmer did a study where they surveyed the top 1% of insurance agents, and they found the most common character attribute was optimism. Of the most successful agents, like yourself, they were optimistic. They were positive. They believed that good things were going to happen, and then they did. And you've clearly had a lot of really good things happen over a impressive 22-year career. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing. Did you ever think that you would be doing insurance when you were like teenage, college years? No,
this is funny. When I was a teenager, my whole goal in life was to be an executive assistant wearing really cute suits and heels. I thought that was the pinnacle.
That's funny.
I went to college and got a degree in psychology, and by 22, I hit what I thought was my career pinnacle. I worked for a venture capital firm in downtown San Francisco, and I was like, okay, so I hit what I thought I would want to hit. Meanwhile, my parents are like, you'll go into international business, you'll do this, you'll do that. And I was like, I don't know. So, if years went by, and it's kind of funny how I got into insurance. I did different sales jobs because, believe it or not, when you have a degree in psychology, you can't work in psychology unless you have advanced degrees. And I did 3 colleges in 4 years, and I was done. So I didn't want any more college. So I learned very quickly after the venture capital stint for a few years that I wanted to go into sales. So I sold different things, and I was successful at it. And then I always thought I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I got married. We got our first baby. And about 6 months in, I was like, I don't know that I am cut out for being a baby mama. I like children a little bit older than babies. Of course, I love babies now and I can't wait to be a grandmother, but actually I just wasn't cut out to be the stay-at-home mom. Nothing against stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
I really had this professional tickle inside of me.
Mm.
And we actually moved to Texas from California. And initially, my husband was going to work and I was going to stay home. And we had a deal if he didn't get a job by a certain date that I would go looking. And so that day came. I went looking. I put 30 resumes out. I got 2 calls back.
Wow.
One was insurance and one was financial services. And I just never could see myself sitting at people's dining room table talking about their finances. That just didn't seem like me. But the insurance was interesting to me because it was a business to business environment and I love working with business owners. And so I did something a little unorthodox when they called me for an interview. I said, yeah, I don't want to interview in the office. Can I actually interview with you in the field on a sales call? Because I knew that a lot of sales people trying to hire people will just sit down with them at a table and talk about how amazing it is being in that position without really showing them what is involved. And so this lady was awesome. She was like, absolutely. She's like, dress professional, meet me at this address. And so I met her. We walked into this company. I still remember it to this day. Within 15 minutes, she had this guy eating out of her hand. She closed the deal. Wasn't going to cost the business owner anything. And I was like, sign me up. Oh my gosh. And so a week later, I took my test. I passed it and was off to the races on my insurance career 22 years ago.
Wow. What a great story. How much did she tell you how much money she made from that first while you were watching? You remember?
Well, that appointment was to close a group to go back and offer supplemental insurance later to the employees. So it wasn't that she necessarily closed a deal that day. She certainly shared the money she was making in general, and that, that was very interesting to me.
Yeah. But supplemental B2B, like supplemental life insurance and, those type of things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cancer, hospital, heart.
Cool. That's great. Huh. What made you think to ask, like, well, I don't want to sit in a boardroom. Like, let me go watch.
I've been around the block enough times to know that you get a song and dance during an interview and you don't always get the truth. And I didn't want to waste my time. I am somebody that is going 100 miles an hour and this is either for me or not for me. And I'm very thankful that she was open to letting a complete stranger go with her on a sales call. And it was a good sized company. It was a nice sale that she closed that day.
That's dangerous, by the way, right? I mean, would you let somebody do that now? Just a complete stranger you've never met?
If I had a good feeling about them on the phone and we went over some ground rules, like you don't speak.
Don't say a word. Did she do that?
Smile. I actually don't think she did. I think I told her. I think I said, look, I will not say a word. I will smile. I will make you look good. I will show up looking professional. And we met in the parking lot. We talked for a few minutes and we walked in.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Where's your courage comes from? Like you seem very comfortable asking for what you want, and you don't seem to have a lot of fear. Now, I'm sure there's been moments in life where you have, but like, you don't now or even then seem like someone who is like scared to ask.
For a lot of my life, I actually think I was really scared to ask. I didn't value what I brought to the table. In elementary school, way back when, they had the low group, the medium group, and the high group. And I was always in the medium group. And so I always felt like I wasn't one of the smarter kids, but I wasn't one of the slower kids. And so I just kind of stayed in the middle for a very long time. And along the way, I would get glimpses. I would accomplish something that was really cool. And so I'd kind of like get a glimpse of a strength, or, or of maybe a passion that I had that I didn't know. And I, the glimpse would come and then it would go away and I'd go back to being kind of normal, regular.
Hmm.
And I don't know, maybe as I've just gotten older, I've realized life is short. And, I will tell you, with really wanting to pour myself into like writing a book or speaking to insurance agents about how they can make their business better. One thing that really does drive me is I absolutely am not going to be on my deathbed regretting that I didn't go for it in my life. And so right now I have like this whole list of things that I consider to be like what I'm going for. And I'm bent. I'm like going for stuff. I'm not, people say different things drive different people. And for me, not wanting to regret something is a huge driver.
Yeah. Is that one of the reasons why you walked on stage for Power Players? Is you're like, I think this group, this community can help me achieve what I'm going for faster?
Absolutely. I'm a big fan that you've got to get in the right room. And I knew that the people on stage were knocking it out of the park in insurance. And I've had some great results, but I know I can do a lot more.
Sure.
And, finding a mentor, oh my gosh, years ago, I asked no offense, my male manager, help me find a female that can mentor me. And he's like, why do you need a female? And I'm like, well, I've learned a lot from men, but I'd like to learn from a woman maybe who has a family and has a husband and kids and, and how she's handling the business. And it never happened.
Wow.
And then, and I would ask different male managers for this. And then 2 years ago, I got the nerve to go into an insurance group on Facebook and post that I wanted to connect with other female agency owners so that we could maybe like mastermind together. I wasn't looking to like start a paid group or pull people off a platform, nothing like that. I just wanted to connect with female agency owners.
Yes.
And Cody, I got crucified.
No way.
In that group because the audacity that I would want to connect with other women and not men. And I had one guy. I mean, it was crazy, some of the stuff people wrote, but I had this one guy do this massively deep dive on me because I was in that group as an insurance gal, because I have an insurance gal Facebook and I have my own Facebook personal. And he's like, who are you, insurance gal? And so he started deep diving and he came back and he said, oh, I know why you want to connect with other women. You wrote a book about losing weight, and you know that women in insurance sit at their computers all day long and are fat, and you want to sell them your book. And I was like,
holy crap.
are you out of your ever-loving mind? Like, this has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with, hey, I'm a female agency owner. This is how I'm doing it. Maybe I can learn something from you, another female agency owner. And I have to say, because of that post, oh, and one more thing. You know how Grant Cardone always says, oh, if they're negative online, like, don't shy away, like, keep going back in. So every time somebody posts something negative, I post it again. I'm just looking to connect with other women. Someone posted something again. I'm just looking to connect with other women. And Emily Trevino posted, and she goes, well, in my humble opinion, you should connect with Rebecca Davis and Club Win. And so I was like, okay. So I went to the website, found they were doing a conference, bought my ticket, bought my airline ticket, went and met Rebecca and this lovely group of 50 women who wanted to support me as an insurance agent.
That's awesome.
And then I decided to move my whole agency over to Rebecca's team. She's been a phenomenal mentor.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Wow.
something really good came out of something bad. But can you believe like
Insane.
how they attacked me?
Insane. Gosh, I love Rebecca, by the way. She's awesome.
She's awesome.
Yeah, phenomenal mentor. I just it should surprise me, but it doesn't. Like people read into stuff. Just gosh dang, way too much. That's insane. Like it's like, and I think it's okay for women to want to be mentored by other women. Like us. What's wrong with that? You know, like that's insane. That's insane. Like there's gonna be certain things. You even mentioned it. Like, hey, you know, it'd be like me trying to mentor you. Well, I you know, I mean, I don't for the start, I don't have kids, you know, like for those certain things you're looking for in regards to time management, managing a family, you know, raising kids. There's, I mean, and running a business like that is a lot. And as hard as I may work, there's other layers in that I can't even begin to understand, you know? So I think that's crazy that, unfortunately Facebook groups, most of them are freaking terrible.
It's very unfortunate. And the thing is, it's, you know, insurance being so male dominated.
Yep.
You know, I've gotten a ton of amazing stuff from men in insurance. Like a lot of the people on stage, a lot of, the people out there are men. I've learned a ton. Mm-hmm. I would just also love to talk to women.
Why not?
You know, I learned from everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Totally. And crazy because you probably sell your book for like, I don't know, $20. Like
$15.
Come on. Like, okay, you go sell.
Come on.
You go sell 10 books. Like, woo.
Well, and I mean, I maybe make for sure less than $10 per book. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane. You have to sell a ton of books to actually make any money selling books or even writing books. Like I'm talking, you already know this, but like tens of thousands of copies, hundreds of thousands of copies. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you how much I made on my book, but I can tell you it's been negligent, really, you know, like it's time for me to write another one. That's for another day, but I don't love sitting down and writing a book, you know, like
I know. It really has to pour from you. It really has to pour out of you to
correct.
You know.
Crazy. Yeah. Man, I got a lot of different angles I can go now. This has been an entertaining episode, by the way. Like I'm more of a Katie Owen fan than I already was. I think you're awesome, and I love your energy. I'm going to interrupt the podcast to tell you about our CABOOM leads that are literally blowing up. If you would love to never get disconnected numbers or wrong numbers ever again, then you will love our leads at CABOOM Leads. All of our lead types, we text the prospect a 6-digit security code. They go back in the funnel and put that in to verify that it is a real accurate cell phone number, and they've responded to a text message. We do this for all of our lead types. If you haven't tried CABOOM Leads, you can use coupon code podcast to get 10% off of your very first order at CABOOMleads.com. Back to the show. You mentioned like, you know, you're always striving for more. You know, you previously didn't value what, you know, you brought to the table. Tell me about the psychology degree. How has that helped you? Has that helped you in this career, you think?
You know, I think like in high school, my friends would always come to me with, you know, like personal stuff. Like, hey, this is going on. What do you think? I think I do have a natural bent, just a gift to connect with people. I really care about people. You know, a lot of people in our industry are like, oh, I just, you know, I love to serve, which I think is great. I think sometimes people, I don't know, will just throw that out there a little too often. I don't know. But like, I truly enjoy people. Like, I find people fascinating. I love their stories. Mm-hmm. And so with insurance, you get to hear stories. You get to empathize. Of course, you also get to hear about all their conditions. And they treat you like a doctor. Like, I'll never forget, I was early on in insurance, and I was in my car on the phone talking to this woman, And, I'm sitting there and she says, well, my bleeding hemorrhoids, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am so glad I'm not in front of you. Now, that being said, I do have an amazing poker face. Like, I can keep a very straight face no matter what you throw at me. But I mean, I was like, you're seriously telling that to me? But
Jeez,
I treated her well. So they feel like we're their doctor side of the business kind of cracks me up.
yeah.
But I just truly enjoy people, and I find them fascinating. And Medicare's so fun because they actually say thank you when you help them versus the other supplemental company I worked for 16 years. People thought you were like trying to cheat them when you sold them a cancer plan. You maybe got one thank you a year. Now with Medicare, every single person is just falling all over themselves thanking you. So gosh, it
Wow.
feels really good.
Yes. And you've been doing Medicare for how long?
6
6 years? That's
years.
great. 6 years. Yeah. And what's the, like, how's your business changed and grown since focusing on Medicare?
So when I started Medicare in 2019, 6 months before COVID hit,
Wow.
I opened an office, I had face-to-face meetings. And then when COVID hit and it was obvious that people weren't going to want to come to my office, and I didn't want to invite them to my office and put them in a bad situation. So I pivoted, like literally one afternoon. I went from what my in-person appointment looked like to what my digital Zoom appointment would look like. Totally did the pivot, moved my whole business online and on the phone. But that was actually a blessing because it gives me an opportunity to meet with way more people. I love that I'm actually not in a business to business setting anymore. I don't have to drive in the traffic. I have a home office that I love. And
So you don't have a brick and mortar.
I do not.
Cool. It's great.
No.
And you've succeeded at a high level and done really well without it. So that's awesome.
And I'm very incredibly productive every day. Like nobody has to tell me to go to work. You listen,
Yeah.
I've been listening to different podcasts and they talk about how, as an insurance agent, you have to be a self-starter. You have to be willing to, put in the long hours. And I'm like, check, check, check. I mean, that's just the way I run my life.
Yeah.
So I don't, I'm not, I don't get off focus at home.
Yeah. It's cool. The brand, how did INS Gal come about? Were we talking about you sharing a story related to that? Was related to that?
Yeah. So when I would call people, business owners, I'd say, I'm Katie Owen, the insurance gal, not trying to brand myself. I literally sell insurance and I'm a female. And so I would just call myself the insurance gal. And gosh, it was years into selling insurance that I finally decided to brand myself the insurance gal. I bought the website insgal.com, and this is just so ridiculous. I should have bought insurancegal.com, but I just figured that a lot of people misspell insurance and I wanted them to find me easily. So I did insgal.com.
It's cool.
I wish I had purchased both domains, quite honestly. But
is the other one gone now?
It is.
Yeah,
I tried to buy it.
Yeah. Also, It's funny you say that. I was chatting with my new friend ChatGPT earlier today. And
love ChatGPT.
Oh my gosh, my wife's like, "You think you talk to ChatGPT more than me?" And I misspelled insurance, like you just said. Like, it's so easy to misspell it. Like
it is.
Kind of wild. INS Gal, that's cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Fun, but it worked out. And I like that. I think that from a branding standpoint, it's good to have something that is fun and catchy, easy to remember, people can resonate with. Like, okay, to your point, I mean, it's been wildly successful for us is CABOOM, and it's
Oh my gosh, I love that.
CABOOM. My initials, I said boom a lot, and next thing you know, it's a part of a brand. Like you were saying, I'm the insurance gal. Like
Yep.
I think the more you can like incorporate your brand into
Mm-hmm.
your language in your everyday life,
Mm-hmm.
the easier it can be. Like, okay, you talk about Rebecca, Medicare Wonder Woman. Well, she says that constantly. I was just talking to Faye. She says, Faye Horton, I sell Medicare plans. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
the more you
I
can
love Faye.
oh my gosh, she's amazing too. The more you can
Yeah.
incorporate that into what you do, and I think a lot of it's like it's okay for it to be fun and playful. Also, you got to believe in it. Like it's interesting how from a branding standpoint, a lot of people struggle with naming their company and logo, and like that's a
They
big
do.
struggle.
They do. Yeah, when I created my logo, I wanted my name and my logo, and I wanted it to be feminine because, and I'm not a real girly girl,
Sure.
but we're in such a masculine industry that I
Yep.
wanted it to be a little more feminine. So yeah, I put my name in my logo, and I've had my logo like the main Katie Owen and then the insurance gal. I've had the insurance gal switched out multiple times for like insurance gal training. So like when I do training videos for
Mm,
my agents, I'll put that logo on the training. And then when I did the book, I just used the Katie Owen part of the logo, and I made it, instead of purple, I made it like a blue, kind of this color,
hmm.
just to still brand my name.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, I play around with all that stuff. It's fun. But the whole website thing, I do have to say something to anyone in insurance who's listening. A lot of insurance agents make the mistake of not getting their own websites, and not, to our point, branding.
Amen.
For years I was with, we'll say it, I was with Aflac, and I just used their email address and their branding. Well, when I decided to leave, people only knew me as Aflac, and that's a problem.
Yep.
And so, I just, insurance agents, they need a website, they need a CRM.
That's right.
It's amazing to me how many insurance agents I come across, and they don't even have all their clients in a database.
True.
Gosh,
True.
I could, yeah, I could talk about that for hours, but I won't. And it's boring. Those are business processes that are boring.
Yeah, but they are important. They are, yeah. I mean, I've got a web designer in house, and we'll do some of that for agents sometimes in agencies. But man, you're right. It's a lot of agents do not have um, a site. Business
Mm-hmm.
cards, logos, all kind of stuff. It's kind of interesting. What's your
Mm-hmm.
experience been like for those that are listening to the Power Player podcast and they've never been 8%? Or they've heard about this Power Players thing, but they don't really know how it works. What's your experience? What's the insurance gal's experience been like with Power Player Mastermind so far?
So, well, let me start with 8%, because I did not go to my first insurance conference until I had been an insurance agent, I want to say maybe 18 years. Now,
Wow.
I had been, so when I was with Aflac, like I was almost every single level in the field. So I went to a lot of trainings that Aflac put on, but I never went to just an insurance, the industry,
Mm-hmm.
aside from just one carrier. And I think it's so important, first, for an agent to make your way to these conferences, because people will share things that they do, the way they do them. People share, they share their secret sauce from stage, and all you have to do is rinse and repeat.
True.
And all you need is one good idea from a conference for it to be worth every penny you spent. And you get to meet people from the industry. So that's my plug for conferences from the agent level. Now, from the agency owner level, you have got to get your people to these conferences, because they hear you all day long. And I know my agents probably take for granted what I teach them, or think, oh, well, that's just the way Katie did it. But then they get to the conference, and I had 5 agents at 8% with me.
Awesome. Thank you.
And
Great.
they were blown away. They loved it. And I mean, I picked up great stuff, but then other people were training my people. So
It's cool.
I'm a big fan of conferences. And then power players, like I mentioned earlier, like you just got to get in the room with the people that are knocking it down. And I think I know Grant Cardone teaches this. I think it's widely taught by wise business people. Only take advice from people who have what you want. And so when you're maybe at your insurance office by the water cooler by the person that hasn't made a sale in a month and you're commiserating, like that's the last person you want to spend time with. Like, go get your advice, go get your mentoring from somebody who is knocking it out of the park, who's walked down that road and is willing to share with you. So for me, the power players is the place for me to go and get that personally.
It's awesome. Well, you're a great personality, good human being. It's been fun having you a part of it too. So thank you. Yeah.
Thanks.
It's been killer. If they want to, before we jump to some extra content, extra questions, if they want to keep following the Insurance Gal, what do they do? Where do they go?
So I'm on Instagram and Facebook as at Katie, spelled Katie, and then INSGAL. So at
Nice.
Katie INSGAL. And of course, my website is insgal.com. So I'm in lots of places, but that's the easiest way to find me.
I love it. Super easy to find. Well, excited to ask you some of these additional questions, and thank you for being a part of the Power Player podcast. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Also, thank you guys for hanging and listening. We're about to jump into some extra content, some bonus questions. You want to keep following along, get early releases of the podcast, hear some of these questions, or you're like, you know what? I'm already a Studios member maybe, and you're like, I want to check out Power Players. What is this thing about? You can go to CodyAskins.com, click on Power Players, and learn more. Thanks for listening to the podcast, and we'll see you on the next one. Kaboom.